Hello Internet, so nice to see you. I've been getting a lot of comments on how to practice theory and when to practice theory. And it seems that the big problem here is not so much the how, because the how depends a lot on what you are studying in this moment. And then if you happen to take one of my courses, hey, you have a lot of exercises there already. The real problem here seems to be the when. And attention, because what I'm going to say today, it's going to be probably one of the biggest game changer in your practice. I'm going to bet on it, okay? It's pretty safe. Because when I started doing things this way, things changed completely for me. Because you see, what most guitar players do when they practice is completely backward, okay? So we need to just do the opposite of what they tell you and you'll be fine. What do I mean with that? Okay, see, when you study theory, when you practice your theory, because everything you study in theory needs to be practiced on your fretboard, otherwise it's just smoky theory and it never becomes something concrete, okay? So everything needs to be practiced on your fretboard. But when you practice theory, okay, you can do a number of things. You may be studying a scale, studying some chords, playing those chords, thinking about the notes in those chords or in the scale, thinking about, okay, if I am playing this chord here, can I play this scale here, and all this kind of thing. So you're playing and listening and playing, and often it's new things to your fingers, okay? Often those are chord shapes you may have not seen before, okay? Or chord shapes that you're not familiar with at least, so you are not able to play those things fast yet. That's what happened when you're studying theory. You are breaking new ground, okay? And I think we all agree up to this point, okay? Before I'm telling you what most guitar players do completely backward, I need to give credit to a person. I need to give credit to my friend Tom Hess, because everything I'm going to tell you today comes from one of his observations, an observation he made years ago to me. And now I also want to be completely straight about that. He made this observation to me so much time ago, and I thought about this for so long that I don't know exactly at this point what part of what I'm telling you today it's part of his original observation and what part is my later elaboration of the idea. So it's pretty safe to assume that everything I'm telling you today is actually to his credit and not to mine, okay? Just making sure here that I don't take credit for something I didn't think about, okay? But the idea is so genius, I have to show it and share it with you. So what most guitar players do? They do this, they start practicing, and the first thing they do is warm up. And that's great, you should warm up, okay? And what do they do to warm up? They play all these kind of technical exercises. And I don't know, some people play the chromatic stuff. Okay, all this kind of thing, stretching and technical thing, etc. Then they do the normal practice. Okay, where you take an exercise, you repeat it, try to make it together. At the end of their practice, they learn a song or they study theory and they play around, they improvise and do all this kind of thing with the guitar. Okay, as I say it right now, this seems an absolutely normal and natural way to practice, but it is completely backward. Why? Well, there are two elements in you when you practice that we need to take into account, which are the state of your hands and the state of your brain, okay? Your hands, at the beginning of your practice, your hands are cold. They're not warmed up, okay? So they are slow and sluggish. At the end of your practice, your hands are completely warmed up and they can do whatever you ask them to do because they are warmed up and limber, okay? And they have the right movement program in them if you practice correctly, so, okay? Take this in mind for a moment, okay? Your brain. At the beginning of your practice, it's completely the opposite for the brain, no? At the beginning of your practice, your brain is fresh. You are ready. You have all your attention ready, all your wits about you, okay? You are fresh. By the end of your practice, if you're practicing correctly, by the end of your practice, your brain is shot because you have been paying attention to all the little details like what fingers do I use, what is the correct angle of my hand, and all this kind of thing, okay? How do I hold the pick? How much I tilt or slant or the pick? Where do I put my elbow, okay? All these kind of things. So you have been thinking about all this. By the end of your practice, if you're practicing correctly, your brain is gone, okay? There's very little brain power left. So in light of this, let's see again the normal practice of most guitar players. At the beginning, they do the technical exercises. Okay? The technical exercises require zero or very little brain power because they are chromatic or all this kind of thing. They don't require any kind of original thought or any kind of extra attention. Okay? So you are wasting your brain in this moment. Okay? Your brain is still fresh and you're not asking your brain to do anything. Your hands, on the other hand, okay, sorry, terrible pun. Your hands are cold. So you are working against your hand here. You're using a technical exercise, a speed exercise, exactly in the moment where your hand is cold. And you may say, yeah, but that's the fastest way to warm them up. Okay, sure, it may be, but hear me out here, okay? You are trying to do the speed exercise when your hands are cold. Okay. At the end of your practice, the mid of your practice, it's great. You do the normal thing, you practice any kind of exercise, etc. And at the end of your practice, what do most people do? They study theory or they learn a song, okay? That's the situation, studying theory or learning a song, where you do require more brain because you need to memorize the positions, okay? Reason about it, see if there's another place to play that lick. So if sometimes you play a lick here, but the tablature is wrong, so you want to see if there's another place to play that lick, all this kind of thing, okay? So you need your brain fresh, but it's the end of the practice, your brain is gone. Also, when you are learning something new, like theory or a song, you don't need to move fast. Since you don't know what you're doing and you're exploring it, since you're learning new things, your hands move quite slowly. Now, your hands at the end of the practice are completely warmed up. So you are absolutely wasting the moment when they are warmed up. That will be the moment to ask them to do the crazy stuff. But no, you are doing the slow thing. Okay? So, here's the idea that Thomas had and told me. What if you do exactly the opposite? Okay? At the very beginning of your practice, when you still have your wits about you, and your hands are already slow because they are not warmed up yet, you study your theory, okay? That's the moment too. Learn new scales, learn new chords, try chord progression you've never played before because you're gonna play them slow anyway, okay? And you have all your attention about you. You can start to see, you can see what happens if I take a scale and I change a note and learn all those scale patterns. And you can do any other kind of theory exercise. I don't want to go too in-depth on what we are doing again because, yes, my courses, okay? But all those kind of exercises are best done at the very beginning of the practice. By doing those exercises, you are moving your hands and moving them slowly, and so you are warming them up gradually. No traumas, okay? No stress, okay? No injury, because you're moving them very slowly. And by the way, at the beginning of the practice, it's also the moment, strangely enough, to learn the new songs. Because again, when you learn a new song, you are slow anyway, okay? So you have all your brains still fresh and your hands are moving slow. Learn the song. Then the central part of your practice, the normal exercise you normally do, whatever you do, that's great. At the end of your practice, your brain is gone. Your hands are warm. That is the moment to do the technical exercise. That is the moment to do the stress exercise, the chromatic stuff, the tapping, legato, super fast things, super fast sweep, okay? All those kind of things are done at the end. They don't require that much brain. This is all stuff you've practiced already. This is all stuff that require little brain. It's just pure raw speed and endurance. You put them at the end of your practice. And then your hands are warmed up and they will do whatever you want. Okay? And your brain is gone, but that's no problem because those exercises do not require that much brain. Okay? Now, this idea sounds weird. It sounds completely weird because that's the opposite of what most people do. That's the opposite of what many tell you to do. So here's the deal, okay? I'm not asking you to believe me without proof, but I'm asking you, give that a chance. Give this a chance. For the next couple of weeks, try to practice this way, okay? Just try. What do you have to lose? 2 weeks of practice? What do you have to lose? Just try practicing this way. And then report here, okay? Write down in the comment, did it work for you? It did not work for you, okay? So everybody else can see if it worked or not. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, okay? I know it works. I know it works because I've been doing it for a long time and I've been showing this to my students. I know it works, but I'm not asking you to believe me without proof. Then, if you want also to know what you can study for your theory, how do you study theory? Well, again, there are my courses, and today I'm going to recommend you guys my course, Complete Chord Mastery. Complete Chord Mastery, it's not a book. It's a complete video course that takes you from the basics up. We do everything you need to know about harmony and chords on your guitar. All the theory is done straight on the fretboard. There is no theory for the sake of theory here. Everything is immediately practical and everything is developed through exercises so you know how to apply these immediately on your guitar. If you have just a minute, click on the link on the top right to check out Complete Chord Mastery. If you like this video, smash on that like button and don't forget to subscribe and click on notification, otherwise YouTube will not let you know when I put up a new video. And if you have any comment, feedback, suggestions, write them down in the comment. I enjoy reading from you and I make videos on your suggestions. This is Tommaso Zilio of musictheoryforguitar.com, and until next time, enjoy!